Hello and welcome to Annie 325 Character Rigging. I am John Cohn. I'm going to be your instructor for the course. So get used to my voice, I suppose. Alright, so I just want to make this video as an introduction to the course and just how it generally runs. This shouldn't be that much different than other courses you have taken. This is an upper level course, so you've probably already taken a bunch of other online courses, online asynchronous courses. This should hopefully be not too foreign for you. But all the same, I just want to introduce myself and give you a roundabout thing. First off, our announcements, right? So here's the home page of Canvas. Just be aware that I will send announcements at the beginning of each week, just saying, oh, this is what we're going to be doing this week, and good job, and keep going, and all that. But also we'll make announcements if there's anything that's kind of pertinent or something that changes, or it's going to be my main way of contacting you guys as a whole. You are required to read those. There is no excuse of like, oh, I didn't see it, yada, yada, yada. It's like in your student handbook or something that you are required. This is like considered a main part of the course. You should also get emails every time I make an announcement, so just be, look for those as well. But obviously you can see them here, so just be aware that's my main way of getting with you. The syllabus here, it's very generic. There really isn't anything especially pertinent in it, so I wouldn't bother really looking at the syllabus. The main thing you're going to be doing is just going through these modules, okay? So, this is the rigging course. The way I have it set up is you're just going to start at the top and you just work your way on down, okay? So you'll see that there's one module for each week. Week 1, I have the date that is the starting date, so this will be Monday. And then, there's the week 1 introduction, so on and so forth, okay? And then you'll see basically these assignments and the work you need to do. For the most part, the introductions, honestly, you don't really have to read. They're just an overview of what we're covering, but that doesn't really matter as much. Really, you just need to do the things that are underneath it, okay? I also, you will notice, I've unlocked all the modules. So you can just go right ahead, and that is fine. So if you want to try and get this course done early, I even suggest it. Being that this is a studio course, you are a game design or animation student, you are probably aware that everything we make is project-based, and it gets really heavy towards the end, right? You have a million different due dates, and you're having to juggle. So if you can get some of your courses done earlier, I think that's a lot better idea than trying to get them all done at the end at the same time, okay? Also, you might get stuck, or something might take a little bit longer, and it'll give yourself a little bit of breathing room that, you can do that. Now, that being said, each one of these, they do have due dates, right? So the first assignment is going to be due 1 week after Monday, so it's going to be due September 1st. So try to get them in by that date. I will accept late work all the way to the end, but it is a letter grade reduction. Now, I don't do 1 letter grade for every week or every day or anything like that. You can submit it all the way to the end, and you'll just get 1 letter grade reduction. Because once you start knocking the grades down like that, it just makes it impossible. You'll end up failing, right? So I wouldn't suggest doing that, but that is something I just want you to be aware. Also, if you get a grade and you're not happy with it, you can resubmit for a higher grade. And I would even suggest that because a lot of the assignments build off of each other, and if one's broken, then the next one's going to be really hard because you can't work with something that's functional. Also, if you do resubmit, I'm not going to dock it for lateness just because, you know what I mean, the final one ended up being later. So please think about doing that, but don't let it bog you down to the point where you can't get on to the next one. So you're going to go down, you're going to look at the assignments. One thing I do want to make a point about is I did not create this course. This course was imported. I made a couple of small changes, but I didn't want to change it too much. I probably will change it eventually once I get a go-ahead to do it. But what I want you to be aware, and this is what's most important, I teach this class in person, and I also teach it online. I'm not teaching it in person this semester, but the way that it currently is set up is that the first assignment is to create a joint and a handle. It literally, if I had to do it, it probably would take me 2 minutes. The second assignment is importing a model and then putting a couple joints and a controller on it. That would probably take me 5 minutes. The next one is creating a human joint chain and setting local rotation. That one would take me a little bit longer. The point I'm making about it is that these first 2 assignments in particular are super, super short and easy. But I don't want you to get a false sense of security, and then later on, when you start making these later assignments, you're going to see that they are very time consuming. They will take you hours, okay? So my suggestion is, when I teach this in person, I actually do the first 3 weeks on the first class. I get through all of it on the first class. So I would suggest on the first week doing 3 weeks worth. And then you'll be 3 weeks ahead, and then you'll have time to get the rest of them done. Because some of these, I think you might even struggle to get done within the week. I mean, it's absolutely possible if you take the number of hours you're supposed to be working on it, but I know students get behind on things, and then they might get, bogged down, and then they get, then you just don't get it complete. And then you end up getting late grades, and so on and so forth. So, please, 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 try to do at least the first 2 and maybe half of the third week, the first week. I've had other classes, I don't know if you've ever taken like a programming class, and it starts out really easy, and you're like, oh, hello world, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool, this is easy. And then all of a sudden it ramps up that, you're going to make a program that's going to send a space shuttle to the moon, and you have to have it calculate the arc times the, gimbal, and yada, yada, yada. This course kind of does that. So, just be aware. Do the first 3 weeks, week 1. I highly suggest. It's not required, but I highly suggest it. The other thing that I'm going to say about these assignments is, I already said it earlier, is that they are time consuming. You are not going to be able to get these done if you wait until 6 o'clock Sunday night to get it complete. You will not get it done in time for the submission. I'll tell you that right now. You need to start working on these at the beginning of the week, and then you can work on them throughout the week if you'd like. But out of all the courses I teach, this course is the most time consuming course that I teach. Out of all the courses, and I'm teaching 8 courses this semester. So just be aware that this is very time consuming. And there's no quick way around it. It's not like modeling. You're like, oh, I'll just model real quick and I'm doing whatever. This instead is you have to follow these instructions exactly or it breaks. So you can't rush through it. That's part of the problem. All right. And it's also, there's a lot of, like I said, specificity. And it can be difficult and things don't function. Now, along with that, and this is very likely, you're going to work on something like this spline IK, and it's going to be broken, and you're going to be like, oh no. That's fine. That's why I'm here. What I want you to do is just email me, write out what the issue is, and attach the file, okay? I need you to attach the file, because if I don't have the file, I have no way of looking at, fixing it, okay? So what I'll do when you do that is that if it's easy, I'll just email you back and be like, hey, it's just this. You got to do whatever. More than likely, what I'll do is I'll create a video. I'll open up your file. I'll fix it. I'll send you the fixed file and the video, and then you can just move right along, okay? Because it's very likely that you are going to get, like I said, stuck or something's going to be broken. And each week builds on the previous week, which means if this spine is broken here, it's going to be hard to attach the arms to it. Now, you can have a broken spine and still have arms, right? But in rigging as well, but it could cause some issues. All right. So we just want to make sure that you just reach out. Struggling is good. It's how you learn, but I don't want you beating your head against the wall either. Okay. So please reach out to me. I will do the best I can to help. Now, as far as the assignments are concerned, you will see that there is a final project, which is basically you're going to create your, I'll end with that one. There are discussion boards. You can see the discussion boards a bunch of times. It's 15% of your grade, all right? There are your labs. So these are basically every week. There'll either be 1 or 2. There's even 3 sometimes of these each week. And you'll just complete those, 35%. And then finally, there's also a quiz and a midterm. All right, and these are just meant to kind of cover the terms that are demonstrated in the tutorials. And then at the end, you will have a final project. The final project may be whatever you like. You can take a model that you modeled in another class. You can find a model online. You can use whatever kind of model you want. It's 100% up to you. I'm not going to restrict that. This is rigging. It's not modeling. So whatever you want it to be. But I do suggest before you start working on it that you send me the model, because I can say, oh, this model will work great, or this model sucks. And then you'll know not to use it, because certain models just will be difficult to rig, all right? I would generally suggest when you go to do this, the final project, is do not do it the same way we did here. 2 reasons. One is it'll take you a really long time because there's a lot of videos. The other reason is learn from somebody else. Go online and look up another tutorial series, and they might have a different way of doing it, and then you're learning more information again. And theirs will probably be a little bit quicker than these, because this is actually a pretty good rig, but it's a very complicated rig. So, and you can do whatever you want for this as well. So unlike the character creation class where it has to be bipedal, if you're not comfortable, do a bipedal rig. But if you want to try doing a quadruped or some sort of monster creature, you are allowed to do that. But it should have a substantial amount of rigging. I don't want you to do like a really basic thing that's just got joints and nothing else. Hopefully that all makes sense. Go back here. Yeah. So that is the course in a nutshell in a very long video. If you have any issues, please reach out to me at jonathan.r.cohn@wilmu.edu. And I look forward to seeing your guys' stuff.